Besides appearing in television commercials, some of our last guests are also successful models, and they've enjoyed showing off some of the beautiful fashions of our next guest, because this is the tie-in. Even though she's seen every day as Mary Ann in the never-ending Gilligan's Island reruns, Dawn Wells has been up to something very different, designing special fashions for the disabled. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome everybody's favorite actress, Dawn Wells. So I know Mary Ann would have never thought about doing this kind of work when she was on that island. So how did Dawn figure out how to go into this whole different career?
It's interesting, Maury, because of family. I had a mom that my grandmother was paralyzed with a stroke, lived at home with us for a while when I was in high school, and she couldn't move at all. And she was a tiny little lady, about 4'11". It still was incredibly difficult to dress her in anything. Then I was in love with someone for a long time, and his mom was in a nursing home for 11 years. And I would go to the nursing home, and unless somebody had a daughter or a son that could sew and provide something, you see them in those clothes backwards, snapped in the back, tied in their little chairs. All sense of dignity and quality of life is taken away. You're there for the maybe remaining years of your lives, and you have nothing to put on. It's awful. It's like an institution, you know. And then I do a Children's Miracle Network telethon for the state of Missouri, and I became very close to a young cystic fibrosis child. Actually, she was 18, but who underwent a lung and heart transplant at Stanford University. And she was 6.5 months in intensive care, and she kept saying, "Can you give me something with some color? I'm in that flower sacking thing that opened down the back where you're exposing your fanny when you're walking down the hall. Can you do something?" So I've had it in my mind a very long time, and I was on tour with a national company of Chapter 2.
Oh, yeah.
And these quick changes and this Velcro, and I said, wait a minute, something could be done. Something could make you look like from the front you have a pretty outfit on that's easy to get into. If you have a caregiver and you can't dress yourself, you can raise your arms and they can just get you into it. If you are capable of dressing yourself, a lot of my designs are reversible front to back, so that if you have arthritis and you're having difficulty getting in it, you just use it. It's so simple, isn't it?
Yeah, but creative and imaginative, because you have to think of each problem differently, don't you?
Yes, and it's very difficult to cover everything. Yeah. A lot of times things have to be specially done. But I really started doing it for the aged, for the people in the nursing home, the people who are kind of forgotten.
And now it's becoming a whole profession for you.
Well, yeah, it's good. I have a wonderful manufacturer in St. Louis.
You have a catalog?
I have a catalog. And Angelica Manufacturing, uniform group in St. Louis, I've just signed a contract with to handle my manufacturing. That's the hardest part, getting started, you know?
And yet you're still touring. I mean, you're still
working.
You work with a good friend of ours, a marvelous person. We all remember her from the Bob Newhart show, Marsha Wallace, who was on recently here.
Yes, yes.
Talked about her husband, and you're very friendly with Marsha.
I adore Marsha.
He just passed away.
She just lost Dennis yesterday to a very hard fight, and I just want to say how much we love her and we're thinking about her.
Yeah, we surely are.
Yeah.
And so you're still doing that.
Still doing that.
Plus this.
Plus this. You know, one thing I do want to mention, there is a nursing home chain called Beverly Enterprises that is the first, it's very difficult to get through that door, that cares enough about their older people to replace that god-awful hospital gown with a his and a her gown. Right. Bright colors, bright fabrics, all of that. Marsha Wallace and I are doing Odd Couple together in a female version in August in
Missouri,
I know they do Reno in October.
The female version, which is great.
Of course.
Now, your assistant sent us a letter, okay?
Oh my God. Okay, here we go.
Here we go. And it was from one of the people in the Gulf War.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
You are the acknowledged sex symbol of the third Anglico-com shop in a world filled with bubbleheads, the simple homey virtues you conveyed as Mary Ann, won out by a landslide. Gilligan's Island is the most phenomenal show in television history. Everybody watches it. Everybody thinks it's idiotic. At 4 a.m. in the blackness of the scud night, people would argue over what the professor majored in school. Ladies and gentlemen, guess what? We'll be back after this.
Started getting rough, the tiny ship was tossed. If not for the courage of the fearless crew, the minnow would be lost.
Okay, Dawn Wells, of course, was Mary Ann, and Russell Johnson, we all know as the professor from the beloved Gilligan's Islands. Yeah.
Hi, Dawn. I wanted to ask you if there was any rivalry between yourself and Tina Louise, and if you know why later on she was recast.
No, there really wasn't any rivalry. Tina had a lot more experience in the business than I did when we started the show. She had been on Broadway and she had done a movie, and I was just brand new, so I was really just learning a lot kind of from everybody.
You were kind of asexual anyway on the show, weren't you? I mean, did you have love interest?
I was? I didn't think so.
Well, Russell, I mean, the professor was kind of...
We weren't allowed to, yeah, we weren't allowed to do any of that.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I wasn't.
I wasn't either. You don't know what went on behind the scenes.
I wanted to know, since the reruns are so successful, have you ever thought about doing a reunion show?
We've done 3.
I know, they've done 3,
done
but they,
three.
but they meant a series.
Oh, well, we've lost 3 members of the cast
Is it
now.
3 members? I know Jim Backus and Bob Hale and...
Alan Hale, Bob.
Alan Hale, rather.
Yeah, and Natalie.
And Natalie.
And Natalie.
Yeah.
The Howells and Miss Skipper.
Yeah. Yes.
Hi, this is Suzanne out there. What is your fondest memory of the show?
The fondest memory. Gosh, I don't know. There were a lot of wonderful ones, you know. Especially when we've lost the members of the cast that we've lost. I think you kind of dwell on little stories with each of them. I think Jim Backus, one of the nicest things I remember when I was just beginning, what a wonderful comedian he was to share with us how things really worked. You think a lot of times people hog the set and the scenes, and he was very generous. I remember that very, very strongly as a big help to me.
I had met him over the years. He was a lovely guy.
He was a lovely man, yeah.
Miss Wells, I just want you to know that I've always thought of you,
Oh, you
every
have
time.
not.
I
No,
have
you
every
have
time
not.
I've had coconut cream pie.
Coconut cream pie? I make a good one, isn't it?
But I would like for you to settle a 25-year-old bet with me and my best friend, who hopefully is watching. Did you or did Ginger receive the most fan mail?
I did.
Is that right?
Absolutely, yeah.
You won? Well, that's very interesting.
I don't mean that egotistically.
And by the way, can you answer that guy's question? Do we know what university the professor was from?
Where'd you graduate, Russ? I mean, Hinckley. Where did Professor Hinckley graduate from?
From mid-south, north-east, western states.
I often wonder, do you all like sit down on the weekends and ever watch the reruns and over like a bowl of popcorn and laugh?
I do sometimes because I'm on the road a lot. I travel a great deal, and it's on in the afternoon sometimes when you hit a hotel. Russell has grandchildren now, so I'm sure you're kind of
Oh, yeah, that's wonderful.
showing that to the kids, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is to both of you. When you first started with the show, did you realize that it would extend as long as it did and up until now, that people are still watching it and still loving it, enjoying it?
No.
I mean, must be 3rd generation now.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely it is.
All over the world.
no,
You
it's
have no idea.
It's a big surprise that it's attained the kind of cult status it has.
And I think it's got a rejuvenation. I mean, I've been all over the world and been recognized everywhere, and I really think it's because it's a comedy that translates into any language. Murphy Brown, you have to think about what she's saying. You don't have to think about anything on Gilligan's Island. Any language understands that.
Yes.
Hi, first I'd like to add that both of you look great, and this question is directed to both of you. Do you have any families, children, grandchildren, right about now?
I don't. Unfortunately, I wish I did.
That's
I don't.
interesting. Not married?
Not married.
No kids?
No kids. Pitiful, isn't it?
Russell?
Yes, I have 3 children. I have 2 sons and a daughter. David, Courtney, and are my sons, Kimberly, my daughter, and I have a grandson, Max, who's 5 years old.
Yeah.
And I love him.
And a lovely life.
And I have a wonderful wife. Yes.
Are you sick of hearing about Gilligan's Island by now? I mean, is it hard to get on with your lives?
No,
No.
not at all.
Yeah.
Well,
It's fun
I
to
want
talk
to tell you,
about
can I tell you
something
something? You never get tired of talking about a success.
else. That's good, Maury.
Is that right?
That's
We'll be
right.
back
Sure.
after this.
Guests of the Maury Povich Show stay at the Lowe's New York Hotel, offering the finest in comfort, service, and value, conveniently located in the heart of Manhattan.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask, over the years, did you stay in contact with each other?
How about that?
oh, yes.
So we're all really good friends. We don't see Tina very much because she was not involved with those episodes that you had asked about earlier, but we do.
How about
with the rest
Bob
of-
Denver?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, we see. As a matter of fact, Dawn and Bob and I go out and do a lot of personal appearances
Oh, good.
all the time.
Dawn, you look so beautiful and young now.
Aren't you nice?
It's hard to believe. How you must
It's hard
have
to
been
believe I'm
really-
103, isn't it?
Raining, it's hard to believe.
Well, let's
Thank you
find
very
that out. How old were you when you started?
12.
I understand exactly.
Do you understand, Maury? Thank you.
But I'll tell you one thing. Does she look good or what? Thank you so much. You're great, Dawn. Thank you. Russell, thank you so much. My pleasure. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Until next time, America.
A promotional fee has been provided by...
Insured by passenger.